Hi guys, back again. Now this video is going to be something that I see asked a lot on Facebook, on all of the groups that I'm on. I see it asked a lot, and I've had family and friends turn around to me and say, look, this is something you do yourself. People are always asking how to do it. Make a video, show everyone how to do it. So today I am going to be showing you all how to mix your own e-juice or juice. So starters, let's show you if there's for starters, I will tell you different ways that you can do it. You can do it either with syringes and do your measurements in millilitres, or you can mix by weight. Now for that you'd need a set of very accurate scales, like jeweler's scales, like this. This goes to 0.01 of a gram, so yeah, it goes up in 2 decimal places, so it's very accurate. Yeah, so there are 2 different ways that you can do it, either syringes or by weight. And there's different types of sort of mixing juice. You can buy separate concentrates, which are individual flavours. You mix them together to blend your own flavours. Or you can buy what's called one shots. Now, this is a one shot. Not that one. This is a one shot. This one is cherry cola flavour. So that's already mixed together. Then you mix at a higher concentrate, but I'll tell you all about that later. And then you've got the companies that sell what they call bottle shots. And basically it'll be a big bottle with a tiny bit of concentrate in the bottom. And all you need to do is whack your VG, whack your PG and whack your nicotine in there. So yeah, if you don't already know, I will be telling you what VG and PG is, do not worry. So let's show you everything I've got. So I've got some nicotine here. I would put a link to this in the description, but that company no longer trades. I bought this before they went out of business. But this is 72 milligram nicotine. You can't buy this in shops. The strongest you can buy, I think legally, is 20, 24, but they usually sell it 18 because with the size bottles of juice they sell, it's easier to work out how much you need with 18 milligrams. So you add 10 ml of that to 50 ml juice will give you 60 ml 3 milligram strength. So it's easier to work out. I've got vegetable glycerin, otherwise known as VG. It's one of the main base ingredients of e-juice. I bought that from a company called Darren Chemicals. They're online. I'll put a link in the description below. It's very cheap, very good price. And there we have propylene glycol or monopropylene glycol, which is your PG. That I also bought from the same place as the VG. Make sure when you're buying this that you get pharmaceutical grade, not just food grade, because the pharmaceutical grade is cleaner, it's a higher grade, so it's safer to vape. If you start mixing with only food grade stuff, then I suppose you could call it a dirty vape, because yeah, it's not as high grade as food grade. And then you've got your flavour concentrates. I blend my own, so I've got lots of little individual flavours. That one's forest strawberry. I've got loads. And then if you're blending your own, not using one shots, you can also get additives. And you get this one, sharp taste. Self-explanatory. You've got this one, citric acid, mixed up with PG, so it's in liquid form, citric acid. With the additives, you only need to use tiny amounts. Use them sparingly. We've got this is ethyl malto, 10% diluted in PG. That's a sweetener. And then we have Capella Super Sweet. Now I don't know exactly what Capella Super Sweet is. I just know that it is very, very sweet. It does live up to its name. It is super sweet. There are other types of sweeteners you can get, which I don't use. You can get sucrose solution, which is a very sweet sweetener, but it is also a coil killer. Or you can get stevia, which is a natural sweetener. I think that's how it's pronounced. Might not be. That's not so bad. That's not as bad as the sucrose one. But it will still kill coils like any sweetener will. Even that Capella Super Sweet will kill your coils. So, yeah, let's go through what else I've got. So, we've got your scales, got my PG and my VG, got my nicotine. only showing you that. I'm not going to use that today because I can't be bothered. I've got a beaker. So I'll just mix it into the beaker and then pour it into the bottle. You're going to want an empty bottle. Today I've got a 60ml bottle. And yeah, there's my concentrates. So let's get started, shall we? So firstly, what you want to do is you want to turn your scales on. And you want to put your beaker on there. And then you want to zero it. So then obviously you know the weight of what you're putting in. You want to zero it. And right, so today I'm just going to make a basic one that I already know how to do. I'm going to make a strawberries and cream. There's strawberry, cream, another cream that I've got. Sorry, 2 secs, just trying to find my other strawberry. There we go, another strawberry. Now when you're blending your own ones rather than using one shots, you might need more than one brand of a flavour. So there's lots of different brands out there. I mean, this is Strawberry Ripe, but this is by Flavour Apprentice, and this is Forest Strawberry, and this is by Solube Aroma. So yeah, because they have, even though they'll be the same name, they're both strawberry, because they're from a different company, they'll taste different. So basically what you're doing is, if you're putting two of the same flavour but from a different company, you're giving yourself sort of a different flavour profile. So also with the cream I'm going to be using whipped cream and sweet cream. So it gives it more flavour profile, it makes it not as basic, it makes it closer to what premium juice would taste. Also with some juices, not so much with this one, although I'm not sure yet. With some juices you add tiny amounts of other flavours. Not because you want all those flavours, but because it will help bring out the flavour of some of the other concentrates. So online there's a website with lots of recipes. And there's some of them are clones of premium juices. There's a nasty juice clone for the grape one that they do, ASAP grape. Now, it's not just grape. You've got grape in there, but then you've also got boysenberry, you've got berry blend. There's about 4 or 5 other different flavours in there to give it a different type of grape taste. Oh, and out of all the additives, sorry, there is one that I missed, Colada. Now that gives you, what that does is that gives you a cold hit without it being menthol. So if you like the sort of the cold feeling as you're breathing in, but without the minty taste, then that's what you want. You can get menthol as well, but I don't really like it. So let's go, shall we? So you've zeroed your scales. And it's why I like doing it by weight, because you don't have to mess around with syringes, because a lot of the bottles will come with dripper tops on them, so it's easy to do. So you drip it in, you'd watch the weight. I'm going to put a gram of that one in there, sweet cream. And put about 3 grams of whipped cream in there. Zero it again. So what I do is I zero it after I put everyone in, so that you can sort of keep track of how much you're putting in. So say I'd put 1.5 grams of one in, zero it, I'd put 2 grams of another one in, zero it, and so on and so forth. So then you can keep track of exactly what you're doing. So I want 4 grams of that one in there. So yeah, so I'll talk while I'm doing this, as I'm just showing you what you're doing right now. I'm just putting concentrates in. Online there is a website with lots and lots of different recipes. Like I said, I'll put a link for it in the description below. Now on that website, the recipes on there, they do show both weight and milliliters, so don't panic if you want to use the syringe method and not the scales method. They both work. They're both just as good. It's just I prefer doing it by weight. I find it a lot easier. I'm going to add a bit of blackberry in there as well. Not a lot, because that is a very, very strong concentrate. Right, so you've got your concentrate in there, all in the bottom there. Now what you're going to do, you're going to want to put your main ingredients in there. So obviously depending how you want your juice, whether you want it 80-20, PG-VG, if you want it 70-30, it's up to you. Because I'm making it for myself, I'm not selling it, I get lazy. I just chuck it in at around a sort of guessed 70-30. I used to be very, very good and try and be very accurate. Okay, you've got your VG in there. Whoops. And you want to put a bit of your PG in there. And there we go. It is as easy as that. I mean, that is why I do it by weight, because you're not messing around with syringes. You chuck it in and you're done. I mean, so yeah, I've got about 60ml in there, all mixed up. So then what you want to do, get rid of your scales. You don't need your scales anymore. You want to swish it around a little bit so not one thing is sort of stuck to the bottom, and then you want to pour it into your bottle. Now, I did come up with a really, really cool way of shaking my juice after mixing it, but the battery on my drill is dead, so unfortunately I can't show you that today. But what I do, I'll still tell you, is I'll get a plastic straw and I'll put it in the end of the drill bit, and I'll cut the end into usually about 8 pieces and sort of flare it out, and then put that in the bottle and just like a whisk. Or you could use a coffee whisk. You could leave it in your beaker and you could use a coffee whisk, like the whisk that they use to froth up the milk. I suppose that would work as well. I might try that at some point. So then what you want to do, once you've done that, unless you've got your own way of shaking it up, you want to give it a good shake. Because you do want to make sure that they're all mixed together properly, because otherwise you'll put it on your drip or in your tank, and where it's not mixed properly, you'll end up vaping pure VG. Bit boring, no flavour. Don't really want to be doing that. So that, honestly, is how easy it is. In the description below, I will put lots of links. I'll put links as to where you can buy your scales, your beaker. Obviously, I can't put a link for the nicotine. A lot of people now sort of giving in, trying to find it at 72mg, and they'll just use nicotine shots that you can buy from shops. Because, I mean, that stuff's very strong. I'd only have to put probably about 2.5-3 ml of that in here to make it 3mg, which is what I vape. Yeah, I'll show you where you can buy one shots. I'll show you where you can buy bottle shots. Although I haven't used them, I have told you about them in this video. I'll show you where you can buy your different concentrates. Yeah, so don't worry. All the links will be in the video description below the video once it's uploaded to YouTube. So there you go. If you're shaking it by hand, you want to shake it up so it goes sort of all bubbly like that. There'll be lots and lots of little bubbles to the point where it doesn't look like a clear fluid, as you can see there. It looks sort of cloudy. Well, that's how many air bubbles are in there. So for those of you that just wanted to see how to mix it and are not interested in what else I'm going to say, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. To those of you that don't have much of a life and like to sit here watching me talk all the time, I will tell you a little bit more in detail about some of the other bits of mixing your own flavour and all that. So yeah, here you go. So you've got your one shots, like your cherry cola. I've got another one shot here as well, which is Colombian coffee. Now, just because they're one shots doesn't mean you can't mix them. Now, I made one a couple of days ago that I mixed the Colombian coffee and I put a bit of the whipped cream in with it. Amazing. It honestly, it tastes like you're vaping a latte. So don't think if you buy one shot you can't add to it. You can still change the flavour of the one shots. Now the one shots you use a lot more as it's all of the flavours already all mixed into one. I think these ones are recommended to sort of mix it 15%. You can up it or down it depending personal preference. If you want it a bit more flavour, you can up it to 20. If you want it a bit weaker, down it to 10. The only problem going up is if you use too much concentrate. With some concentrates you tend to get a sort of chemically taste. Doesn't taste very nice. So you've got your concentrates. Now, a lot of these from where you buy them will recommend how much to use. This lemonade one, for example, is insanely strong. You only have to add like 2% to your mix and you can taste it a mile away. Now have a quick look at some of the different brands. So you've got Flavour Apprentice, that little blue logo there, they're very good. You've got Flavora, however you want to pronounce it. Berry blend there, empty as you can see. I've kept it so I remember to buy a new one. You've got, where's it gone? I saw it a minute ago. There's another one, Flavour West. They're pretty good. They're another one of the sort of higher up companies. And then you've got my personal favourite, Flavour Art. Now, I'm not going to tell you there's a recommended amount for the concentrates because it depends entirely on the recipe. Sometimes you'll whack 7% of one in, sometimes you'll use it as an additive and you'll only whack like 1 or 2% in. These ones, however, are insanely strong. Even if you want one of these as your primary flavour in a blend, you still only need to use a tiny amount, usually around sort of 3 to 4%, whereas some of the others, to have it as your primary, you'll add sort of 6-7%, sometimes even 8, depending on what you mix in. So it does vary a lot on what brand of concentrate you're using. Now, as I said earlier, if you do only use one brand, you might end up with some quite bland flavours. So it is better to, say if you're aiming for, like I did today, if you're aiming for a strawberries and cream, it might be an idea to buy strawberry from 3 different concentrate companies and sort of mix them together. So it'll give you a richer, higher profile sort of strawberry taste. So it is quite good to do. And then obviously you've got all your additives that you want to add very sparingly. There's loads of pages out there. I mean, I'll give you links anyway, but you could just go on Google and you could just type in e-liquid concentrates and it will come up with thousands and thousands of answers. So yeah, you've got that. I mean, you can even add to an already mixed juice. I mean, I've got one juice that I bought the other day that I didn't really like it. It had the flavour, but it was quite bitter on the tongue, so I added a bit of sweetener in it. So you can even add to your premium juices. You get a premium juice and you think, oh, that would be nice with a bit of blackcurrant in it. Stick a bit of blackcurrant in there, mix it up, and job done. So, another bit of information for all you ones that are still interested and still watching this. Steeping. Now, steeping, for those that don't know, steeping is the process. For example, when you make wine, you need to leave wine to mature. You'll leave it to sit. Some juices require that, and some brands require that. It depends. You do need to look into it. You do need to research it. But yeah, fruit flavours don't tend to need a long steep. Some that I've done, I've shaken vape. I've mixed it up. I've let the bubbles rise to the top and go clear, and I vaped it straight away, and it's been fine. Sometimes it improves after a day or two, but fruit flavours you do not want to leave to steep for very long because they will fade. Strawberry fades very fast. And then you've got the other side of the penny is your cake flavours, like cake and dessert, like custard and stuff like that. That's a long steep. They usually recommend about 4 to 6 weeks of steeping. Now you can shake and bake, but I'm not going to promise it's going to taste any good because you do need to let them sit. So it does depend entirely on what flavour you're making, how long you want it to sit, and there's plenty of different steeping methods out there as well. There are people that put it in a warm bath of water to try and heat up the steep process. There's people that buy an ultrasonic cleaner and put warm water in that and turn it on. The vibration causes it to shake and mixes it up. Some try and speed up the steeping like that. But with experience, I've found that the best steeping process is time. Although the fast steeps, they do work slightly. They do make it so it's a more enjoyable vape sooner. But time is the best steeper. You won't get any better taste than a timed steep. So what I do is I will go, I've got my own cupboard in the kitchen, I stick them in the kitchen cupboard, I close the door. You want to leave them in the dark, you don't want to let direct sunlight hit them. You want to leave them in the dark and you want to go to them every sort of day, every couple of days, give them another shake. There are some flavours that need to breathe, like banana concentrates tends to have a slight measure of alcohol. Don't worry, you're not going to get drunk in the concentrate. And what you'll do, you'll leave it to breathe. So you'll go to the cupboard and you'll leave the lid off for anywhere up to a couple of hours to 12 hours. But beware, again, some flavours, if you let them breathe for too long, they will fade. So don't just take my word for what I'm saying on here. Don't go out, buy a load of concentrates, oh yeah, I'm going to make up apple rhubarb crumble with custard, and think you can shake it and vape it straight away and it's going to taste perfect. It won't. Even when you're following recipes online, it is a lot of trial and error. I mean, I've thrown away loads of juice, I've mixed it up, I've had a bit of an experiment, and I've vaped it and no, chuck it away. I would also recommend that you don't buy cheap concentrates. This one, for example, this blue raspberry, it's only about £3 for 30ml of concentrate. Yeah, there's a reason why it was only £3 for 30ml concentrate. It tastes like crap. It tastes chemically, it doesn't taste like blue raspberry at all. These ones, on the other hand, 10ml, especially flavour art, 10ml, probably about £3-4 for a bottle, just for 10ml. But the thing is even though it's the same price for less, it's going to work out cheaper because it's a high quality concentrate, because it is very strong, you don't need to use as much. So it's going to last just as long as a cheaper 30ml bottle, but it's going to taste nicer. So I will advise, go for the more expensive brands, go for the well-known brands, and you're going to be getting some good juice. I mean, after a bit of time, after a bit of experimenting, next thing you know, you'll be vaping premium juice that you've made yourself at home. I'm happy. I hardly ever buy juice now. I mean, I buy juice to do some reviews with, but other than that, I make my own. I don't feel the need. I don't need to buy. I'm pretty good at mixing. I'm happy with them. I vape them. I like them. So there we have it. We've had a quick run through of different concentrates. I've told you about steeping. Ask online, ask on Facebook, Google it. You will find out so much. It is unreal. Again, I will leave you some links in the description to where you can get your hands on your base ingredients, to where you can get your hands on your concentrates, your beaker, your scales, your additives. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helps you make your own juice and saves you lots of money. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.